Hello and welcome to In the Making, a series of conversations from North Bennett Street School where we connect with a range of new voices, fields, and perspectives. Before we get into our conversation, we want to thank the many supporters that make our programs possible, including the Massachusetts Cultural Council and our partners in craft. Thanks for joining us, everyone. My name is Kristen Odell. I'm an NBSS staff member and host of In the Making. Welcome to the first episode of our third season. I'm grateful to you all for guiding us along through these first two seasons and into this third one. We're grateful for you joining us. And I'm even more grateful to have my dear friend Marco Benevento here with us today. We're so excited to have him.
Excited to be here.
Thank you. From studying piano performance at Berklee College of Music to attaching circuit bent toys to his outrageous collection of keyboards at his home studio, Marco, in my mind, has patented his own sound. And in my mind, you created your own musical culture, and he tours around the globe to share that culture with his vast fan base.
Great. That's so nice of you to say. Yes.
We're just so lucky to have you making a pit stop at North Bennett Street School in the midst of all of your touring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to talk with us and play piano.
Thanks.
You did bring some toys.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll hear those, but
yes,
I want to give a shout to a quick note on this piano. This oak piano that Marco's playing on here, it's a brand new Kawai GX2 on loan to NBSS by the Kawai Piano Company. Kawai has for over the past 15 years plus, Kawai has been very generous in loaning the piano technology department new pianos. Every couple of years they rotate the pianos out so that the students are continually having new pianos to tune and work on. And while I'm speaking about the piano, you can't miss that we're actually here in the advanced piano technology bench room. So I think that is really cool personally. There you go, Gino. So this hour is going to be spent hearing Marco play and asking him some questions. So we'll start with whatever you want to play.
Yeah, let's start with playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will say that this might get a little loud at times, so you can control your own volume on your own device at home.
Careful.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Hi guys, I'm very excited to be here. And when I walked into this building, I was like, oh yeah, I want to come back. I love seeing all the tools and all the things that would love to be surrounded more with. I mean, I tour pianos and take apart pianos and hot rod pianos as such, as you'll hear in this song. But I do love being here because it's like, oh wait, you guys have a lot of knowledge of stuff that I really actually have a lot of questions for you about and want to know about, how we can custom make something. Or anyway, I love this. I love the spot. So it's good to be here. And here we go. Well, I put a little pickup in the piano, very cheap pickup you can get online that just sticks to the piano, and I'm running it into a distortion pedal, a delay pedal, and this amp has some tremolo. So it's a hot rodded piano. So. All right. Well, this is a song called Bus Ride. So.
That was wild.
Oh, yes, thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining me on that journey.
I also, this is the perfect moment to tell everybody, our audience there, and hear that Marco writes all of his own music.
I do.
So
And I
everything.
Yes. That was an original, but I do love playing other people's music as well.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. In these halls of North Bennett Street School, origin stories are, very diverse, wide ranging. We have people that come from, office industries to come and change their life around and use their hands and lead a hand skills based life. So tell us about your origin story. Why did you choose the piano, and at what age?
Oh, well, I don't know. Let's see, I was probably in second grade, so 7 years old, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
7 years old-ish. Growing up in New Jersey, not far from the city. I had an older cousin that played piano and could play Pressure by Billy Joel. I think that's right. Oh, man. Anyway, and I was like, that's so cool. I want to know how to do that. And he kind of showed me some stuff. And there was a lot of family, a lot of family gatherings, in New Jersey, aunts and uncles, cousins, and we all lived close together. And the older cousins, Paul could play piano really well, and I was drawn to that. And I feel so that was I don't know, late 80s, right, or something. And I feel that was the time where everybody had a piano in their house and they all had piano teachers. It was kind of a thing you did when you were a kid. I don't know, it was on the list of, you had baseball, basketball, piano lessons, somehow it was a thing back then. I don't know if it still is anymore, but I hope it is. But I don't think it is. But, and also everybody had a piano in their house. It seemed that in New Jersey, most people had pianos in their house, little upright pianos or something. Anyway, and I was just drawn to that as a kid, and then through my cousin, and I got into it, and he would show me stuff, and then really what got me into practicing a lot was getting a synthesizer and putting on headphones, and I was like, oh, this is really great. It kind of took me away from just the piano and getting into different sounds, but anyway, that also sort of piqued my interest. So I was into synthesizers and piano sort of at the same time. And then, it just grew into being in a band, and then, eventually going to college for music, and then eventually realizing that, okay, I think I'm a musician and I'm going to go on tour. And here I am, 25 years later, 45-year-old, just wow, I've been actually playing music my whole life. This is great, But yeah, I was always attracted to the piano. I liked the sound of it, which is interesting. It was all my friends were playing guitar, through PV amps and digital distortion, and they liked that, and I also liked that, but it was not my thing. There's something about the piano that I liked. I don't know. I'll play a song. This is from, it's called, let's see, this song is called Two of You.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
some of our guests are hearing some broken sound, so I'm gonna try to do my best here to make some adjustments. It's a very cementy and hard surface room, so we're doing the best we can.
Oh, geez, sorry, yeah. Turn all
It's
this
not-
stuff off.
it's not you.
Just play the normal piano.
No, it's probably our microphone.
Oh.
So I have a couple questions that people have already messaged for you. One, I think is awesome, and it's very good luck. Marco appears very confident. Typically, the arts can have its highs and lows. How does Marco deal with a low moment such as rejection?
Right, yeah. No,
It's
it's like,
straight to the heart.
no, it's straight. It's like, it's amazing. Like, it's still, there's still like, you know, I mean, it never goes away. It never goes away. I feel like that's like part of being a musician, and maybe the same as being a builder, or inventor, or someone who's always working on their craft and getting better, or like you're making pizza, like as someone that's like, you know, it just you're always gonna be critical of your own self, and you're always gonna find those moments where you're like, this is horrible. Yeah, even to your own self, without even hearing it from other people. You're like, this, like, why am I putting this song out? This is terrible. Or why am I even working on this? Or what is this that I'm building? Like, what is, you know? And then the next day you work on it again, and you're like, what is going on? I don't know. I feel like you know, self-doubt and getting criticism from other people is like, it's just it's always going to be coming at you as an artist, or as a performer, and as someone who's online posting stuff. You're always gonna like get someone that's like says something about something, and you're, you know, and it could really cut to the core of me, Baxter, you know. But it's like sometimes you could really be like, oh, you know. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like you gotta hear that stuff, and you could take it as a criticism, and it might sort of wound you in a way, but know that it'll make you stronger in the end, and the more sort of critical stuff you hear from people, the better. It's going to make you a better musician, and it's going to make you more confident. Actually, maybe that's why I'm so confident. I've heard a lot of bad shit about myself, you know, along the way, where you're like, all right, like, I got to practice. Like, I need to like put on a metronome and practice, you know, or like, I want to go on tour, and I want to have like distorted piano. How do I do that? Like, what do I do? You know, like, I'm always searching for another level. I'm always like recreating the rig, you know, or I'm always like recreating something I can practice for dexterity, or for classical knowledge, or all sorts of stuff.
Were you practicing on Bach suites recently?
Yeah, I was. Inventions, yeah.
Inventions?
Yeah. That I actually, not recently, maybe a year ago recently.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I would hate to even try to play it right now. But yes, but anyway.
I'm gonna segue that into another question
Oh.
that speaks to sort of rejection and failures. I can say this, I can't speak for everyone else, but you're one of the most creative people I know. And so what has allowed you that freedom of expression through your life?
I mean, I was fortunate enough to go to Berklee College of Music, man. Honestly, my parents like sent me there, and I was able to go there, and I wanted to go there, and I had a great time there. Like, total music dork moment right now, but I like loved it.
Is that the starting point of your sort of, creative liberty? Just
No, I definitely was into music at a younger age, and like my family was very nurturing on that. Of course, they were like, which is pretty awesome, because my dad was from Italy, and like worked his way up from the bottom, like drove a Coca-Cola truck when he was like a teenager, and like just like started from the ground up, you know. And like somehow my dad did well, like eventually did well, became a lawyer, which is crazy, and my mom was a teacher, and anyway, so they were really helpful. They nurtured it for sure, yeah. And going to college, and in high school being in bands and stuff. was really, really great. But going to college for music was a big thing for sure. Meeting all sorts of musicians and getting all that criticism thrown at you and getting all the seeing the musicians that are better than you, or that I'm sure you guys see people that are better than you at what you're doing, and you're like, oh, how do I do that? You know, like this guy's younger than me, he's better than me. Like, what's going on? So you really, I like that sort of competitive. That's what's great about Boston, right? In a way, is that there's a lot of sort of student energy and a lot of people working at being awesome and being getting smarter.
Push others along. I guess
Yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, I had a good crew of musical dorks that had a good time, but also like, you know, really practiced and tried to get better at, you know, what they were doing.
What do you think in your mind is the most creative piece you've written?
Well, none of
Well,
them.
the reason I ask is because we talked about Atari earlier, which is one of my favorite. And I think it's.
I'd say Atari. I'll play it.
I think that's my favorite. That was a selfish request. I personally like to talk often about about things that we do that are side by side or parallel to what our profession is. Like, what's something that's non-musical that enhances your creative musical energy, or things of that nature. What's something that you're doing that has nothing to do with your profession that enhances that.
Right.
And you know what I'm trying to get at.
Smoking weed?
No.
No, I'm just kidding. That is good. Oh, growing weed? No.
No.
Oh, tennis?
Yes.
Oh, tennis. Yes. Obviously this is the third choice.
Well, I just love the background of this story is that you, over the pandemic, you became a tennis champ.
And a weed grower.
It's legal.
Look, I'm just trying to, it's out in the open here in Massachusetts. That's okay, like, it's a creative thing for a lot of musicians, and probably for builders. I don't know, maybe not. Everyone's got their own thing.
It's also healing.
But it's healing. It's medicine at this
Well,
point. We're good with tennis, right? No, yeah, I do love to exercise and run around and play tennis. I play tennis all the time. Sometimes on grass and the surface, and it helps me focus. No, I love playing tennis. Yeah, tennis is something that's sorry.
No, sorry.
No, it's definitely it enhances that. I think it's it's like exercising, right? You get the juices going. You got to remember to go on a walk, swim, or do something, because it'll help your brain, it'll help you focus. I've definitely a great friend of mine who's an amazing musician, Leon Michaels. He has a band called L. Michaels Affair. It has great music on out there, L. Michaels Affair. And he lives nearby, and we make music all the time. And we play tennis all the time. And we will play in the morning and then have a session in the afternoon with a drummer. And it's always the sessions that we played tennis before that are better, because they're sort of more alert, you're more sharp. So yeah, exercising is important, doing something, walking. It's as easy as just that. But tennis was a big one for me.
Yeah, tennis champ.
Yeah, I got so into it during the pandemic. Actually, I was able to fulfill because I wasn't gigging or doing anything, so I was basically just playing tennis all the time on grass.
And what was your what champ status did you get?
I got champ status at the Woodstock Tennis Club. I won. I did it. I made it. But and I got a water bottle. A neon green water bottle. No, anyway, it was awesome. It's I don't know, yeah, but I don't know. Yes.
Well, one of the reasons I bring it up is because I think in here people are students here get so focused on their work, and it's really important when you as instructors step away from your work, clear your head. So that's kind of why I bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I love cooking too. I love to cook. It's also therapeutic. Just day's done, out of the studio, out of wherever I'm working, go inside, put on a record, have a glass of wine, and start to cook. And that feels real good too.
I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then we all eat together, and then I'll go to the piano and play for a little bit and feel this is the best moment of my life. And then go in the studio, listen to a demo, and be like, I suck. I'm still it's never ending. It's I don't understand why. It's also the best profession, and but it's constant. You're constantly criticizing your own work, but you just got to figure out when to say it's done and it's over. It helps to have a producer or someone or a friend or a wife or something to come in and be like, this is done. It sounds awesome, or you should change that word. It's a terrible word, or yeah. Anyway, I like getting outside opinions about all my stuff.
I have two questions before hopefully you'll play another song for us. One is about taking a leap into singing? You were instrumental for, how many years of your career? Since Berkeley until.
Yeah, for at least 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you saying something about it a few years back that you took the leap into starting to sing
Mhm.
in your music, and how scary that was.
Yeah, I think people didn't like it. I don't think. I was like,
Is that why it was?
no, I think it was cool. No, it was great. It worked out, but I'm still now, like I've been playing piano for so long, right? For like 30 or more years of my life, or 40 years. And then you like add another instrument to go on top of your instrument you've known for 40 years, like singing. And you're like, oh man, I'm such a beginner at this. Even like 5 years, 6 years in, I'm still like, oh, but I wanted to do it. I felt like the music was calling for it, and we were doing it live. But actually, what happened was I had someone else sing. There's actually a Boston-based band, Rubble Bucket. Do you guys know Rubble Bucket? Rubble Bucket's a great band, and there's a girl singer, Cal, and I like loved them and got to be friends with them and play shows with them. And so instead of me singing, I had Cal sing like the first couple of songs I wanted to vocals, and I'll play that song actually, but I won't sing it. I'll just play it. All right, this is a song called "This Is How It Goes," and Cal sings this melody line on our record. Thank you.
I have one, there was one other question I wanted to answer for our guests, just a brief explanation on the wiring of your hot rod.
Totally.
situation.
No, I mean, I'm surprised I haven't seen more piano players do it live. It's very simple, but I found a pickup that works really well. It's made by this company called K&K, and they're out in Portland or in Oregon. I don't know if they're in Portland, Oregon, but they make all these pickups for pianos and violins and guitars and easy, simple ways to basically capture a resonating piece of wood. And they have all sorts of different sizes, and this one is the best I feel like for piano. It's called the Big Twin. And I just taped it right in here. You can hear it. And there's two. Big Twin, there's two. And then you just go out into distortion and delay. This is delay. And then you go into an amp. And it sounds great. But I did play a gig once, and my wife's grandmother came to the show, and I was like, "What'd you think about the show?" She was like, "I liked it, but you were touching all the knobs. I didn't like all this stuff, which is, which was great to hear because, right, you don't want to be too distracted by it. Hopefully, when you hit it, it happens at the right time, and you put it right there on the bridge, boom, boom, it comes back. You don't want to be too distracted. It's also, I'm saying that being self-critical, and it's hard. It takes a second to dial everything in, and you're kind of messing with stuff a lot, and it can take away from the performance of the show. So it's important always to remember that it's the show. Who cares about all this stuff too? But this stuff is just to help you enhance certain moments and certain parts of songs, but it shouldn't be a distraction. So it's important to ride that line. And to this day in different venues, I'm always riding that line and being like, oh, it's like, why do I even have all this stuff? I should just play piano and whatever and sing, and it's all good. But when it works out, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I had that for the, So, it's like I said, it's a constant. You're constantly getting better at your craft. You're constantly figuring out what cables are better, what pickups are better, what amps are better, what pedals are better, what pianos are better so it's just a constant evolution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, because we're at the top of the hour, do any of our students here have any questions for Marco? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Gina.
Have you thought about putting demo guitars in a big old board, right? Plug in. Have you thought about making a board to sit on top?
What's your
like a pedal?
Yeah. Yes.
You thought about that?
I've done it.
Okay, yeah.
What's your name?
Gino.
Gino Marco.
Nice to meet you.
Gino, it started as that. Yeah, I had two pedal boards. I had this guy wire me a pedal board with this and all this stuff, just like quarter inch in, quarter inch out, boom, lid, we're out. Then I had another one that had circuit bed toys, like an Atari or like a Speak and Spell with an alarm clock with knobs on it, and then whatever weird Fisher Price kids toy and a Casio keyboard, sampling keyboard, and then a reverb pedal, and then quarter inch in, quarter inch out, boom, the DI in the house, boom, lid, boom. So I had a pedal of crazy effects, and then a pedal board of effects for the piano. And I toured and I did that for many years. And yes, I've done that to make things easier. So yeah, I've toured with the 61 note pianos like I was talking about earlier, 3 different ones. And yeah, anyway, all sorts of stuff. Yes.
Any other questions? Wesley?
Have you ever played on a CP70, which is a, electric piano?
Yeah.
Have you ever used it in sort of your experiments?
Yes. I've played, have you ever heard of a CP60?
Yeah.
I had the upright version of the CP70 is the, like this. And I had the CP60 and I toured with that for a while. I found the action to be difficult. The sound also to be a little weird. As we know, the CP70s have a very funky, they have their own sound these days, like in keyboards you can buy, right? They have like sample sounds of the CP70. So it has a very funky sound to it. And then taking it on the road, oh man, it's a disaster. But yeah, love the concept, but if you actually have traveled with one, tons of maintenance, and yeah, I mean, as you know, probably, but
Who's the make of that?
Yamaha
Oh,
CP70. So like, it was I don't know if you guys know about this keyboard, but all right, anyway, I'll explain it briefly. It's like a touring baby grand with like help and steel pickups in it. But the body was like shit. It was like plastic and like whatever. So there was, in order for it to be more portable. Yeah, in order for it to be more portable. So it kind of sounded thin, but it had a very cool sound to it. I do love the sound of the CP70. But it was definitely like a touring musician's like baby grand for like forever in the 70s. And I don't know when it came out. Was it 60s? Maybe it was 60s. Yeah. But everyone played one of those. They were cool. But I toured with the CP60 for a while. It was difficult. It was weird. It like cracked and I couldn't find a guy to repair it. And I was like, I'm just gonna find like an acoustic piano and then hot rod it myself instead of.
You still have it?
Somebody bought it from me, CP60. Yeah. I bought it in Brooklyn at this really cool vintage shop in Williamsburg. It's obviously probably still there. Whatever, you type in vintage music store Williamsburg, it'll be the first thing that comes up. But they had it there, and I bought it for like, it was like $1,000. I was like, I'm doing it. And I got it. It was awesome. Like technically, I just thought it would be perfect. You know, it's like theoretically, I thought it would be amazing, and then I run on the road and it just died. But it had MIDI, and I had a laptop, so I was able to just use my laptop for this sound, which is kind of cheating, but anyway. Yes, love this.
Good, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
we are there at the top of the program.
Oh,
Yeah.
we made it to the
We
top.
made it to the top. Thank you all for being here with us in person, and thank you all for joining us virtually. And I would like to thank my colleague Barbara Rutkowski, who's on the back end of In the Making. She's in there.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, and thank you to Marco so much for giving us your time this evening. It's really special.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks for having me. I really had a blast there. You guys did too.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
All right.